guys, my name is Nadia and I'm so excited today because I get to talk about all the new amazing books that are coming out in 2014. And yeah, books. So there are actually so many books that are coming out in 2014 that I'm looking forward to that I decided to only talk about new books in the young adult genre and not about sequels, because then it would be like the 30 most anticipated books of 2014. And yeah, I also thought that it might be a good way for you guys to find out about new books that are coming out that you might be interested in. So I put all those in a chronological list, so we're gonna start with the books coming out in January and then move on towards the end of the year. So the first book is called Defy, and it's the debut novel of Sara Larson. This is the first book in what is gonna be a series or a trilogy, and it falls under the young adult fantasy genre. The main character is Alexa, a girl who disguises herself as a boy to join the king's army, and then she and the king and her best friend all get abducted by someone, and then it's all about keeping her secret. The story really reminds me of the Disney film Mulan, which I think is a good thing because I love that movie, so I have high hopes for this book. The next book is called Breath of Frost, and it's by Alyxandra Harvey, and this is also the first book in the Lovegrove legacy. This is a historical fiction and a fantasy book, which is really interesting. So we're in the early 19th century, and these three cousins discover that they're witches, and then all these monsters start coming after them. So it sounds like a really exciting book. It's quite thick, around the 500 pages, but it really seems to have an interesting and original plot, so yeah, looking forward. So the next book is Uninvited by Sophie, and this is the first book in a duology. It's gonna be a science fiction dystopian book about a girl who goes through some gene tests, and then when they come back they show that she has the kill gene, which means that she's gonna be a murderer. This sort of reminds me of the Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and I found this story interesting because it's this whole nature versus nurture kind of thing, and I'm really interested in that. Then I have Scrintillate by Clark, the first book in the Light Key trilogy. First of all, this book has an amazing cover, and second of all, this book has an amazing story because it's about a girl who can see colorful auras around people, and she's the only one with a silver aura. And then she meets this boy, and their parents really want to keep them apart for some reason. I'm super excited about this book. If it was out, I was gonna start reading it like now. The next book is Panic by Lauren Oliver, the writer of the Delirium series, which I haven't read, but still I'm looking forward to her dystopian book. And Panic is this dangerous game played by graduating seniors, and the main person, Heather, was always scared to participate in this game, but somehow she's forced to. So the story is really similar to the Hunger Games, which could be a good thing, but could also backfire, so we will have to wait and see, I guess. The next book is called Elusion by Claudia, Gabel and Cheryl Clum. This is about a girl named Reagan whose father invents this program called Elusion that he can use to visually go to exotic destinations. But shortly before its release date, some people start accusing it of being dangerous and so on, and so Reagan is trapped between those two groups. So this really sounds like an interesting story that I can imagine being true in some years from now. So it should be fun to read about it. Then we have Nearly Gone by Elle Cosimano, I believe, and this is about a girl called Nearly who is sort of obsessed with personal ads, and then there's a murder in her school, and she's the only one that can understand the messages that the killer leaves in the ads, and she decides to tell them to the hot new guy at the school, who is actually working undercover with the police investigating her. So this is sort of a mystery thriller book that sounds really intriguing, plus the cover again is beautiful. So I really want to get my hands on this book. The next one is Don't Look Back, the new book by Jennifer L. Armentrout, the writer of the Lux series, which I'm intending to read very soon, I hope. But this book is not a fantasy, it's more of a contemporary mystery kind of book. And it's about this popular girl, Samantha, who one night disappears with her best friend, and when she comes back, she doesn't remember anything. So it sounds like an interesting book with an interesting cover, so I want to read it. Then we have House of Ivy and Sorrow by Natalie Whipple, which has the most amazing cover, I think, of all the books today, which really says a lot because I like almost every book today. This is a fantasy book about a girl whose mother gets killed by the curse, and now the same killer is coming after her. Even though the synopsis is not saying so much about the story, I'm really excited about this book and I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book is called To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and this is about a girl who never admits that she likes someone. Instead, she writes letters to the guy that she likes that she then keeps in a box. But one day, somehow, all these letters get mailed to the guys that she likes, and so it sounds like this book is gonna have a lot of boy-girl drama going on, and I'm really happy to read some chick lit every now and then, so yeah. The next book is Free to Fall by Lauren Miller, and this is a dystopian book about an app that makes all the choices for you, like who to date or what coffee to drink, and so you can be happy, but you never make your own decisions, and that's literally all we know about this book so far, but it's enough to make me want to read it. The next book is Oblivion by Sasha, again with a nice cover, and this is about a girl who was found in an empty apartment, writing on the walls, "I killed him and his blood is on my hand," but she doesn't remember anything about it. The thing is that also her father and a girl from the neighborhood have gone missing, so she's trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. It sounds like this is gonna be a mystery thriller kind of book, but there might also be some fantasy involved. The next book is Dissonance by Erica O'Rourke, and this is the first book in a series, and again it has an amazing cover. This is about a girl who is a walker, which means that she can visit the alternative choices of what people make, and usually these worlds are very clear to her, but when she does something wrong in a training session, she gets forbidden of going to these worlds again. This sounds like an interesting world. It's kind of complicated, I think, and it sort of reminds me of Pivot Point by Casey West, so I'm really excited to read about this story. And the last book is Black Eyes by Becca Fitzpatrick, the writer of the Has series. This doesn't even have a cover yet, but it's gonna be a psychological thriller with a touch of paranormal. It's actually about this girl who likes backpacking, but then one of her trips goes terribly wrong as she meets those two guys and then finds out about some murders that have been happening. It seems really interesting, and it's gonna be a standalone, so I'm really excited about that one. So these were my top 14 books that are coming out next year. Let me know if you know about any other amazing books coming out next year. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. See you next time. Bye!